Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Department Podcast Wrestling Recap version, where we are recapping something, but we're not recapping a week in wrestling. We're here to recap Fastlane. Fastlane was 2 nights ago by the time this goes up, and overall, I thought it started slow, the pay-per-view, but overall being a really, really well-done pay-per-view, building towards WrestleMania in about 3 weeks from now. But I'm Stephen Clark with Justin Valentovic and Jesse Norman, and fellas, before we break down everything from Fastlane, how you guys doing today?
I'm eating an Oreo, so I thought Jesse would actually go first.
Oh, well, again, you always go first. So
yeah, I'm good. Got home from work, was doing some painting, not sitting in my car, so Jesse approved and signed off on that work order.
Nice.
Nah, we're good. Like Clark,
Good.
you said, Fastlane was better than I anticipated, and not amazing, but it was fine. It wasn't the worst possible outcomes. Like the matches weren't duds, but it did start slow, but towards the end, it did get better, at least probably the last 3 matches at least definitely picked up. So that kind of how it saved the show, if I'm being honest.
yeah, I'm doing okay. I tried to get an NBA Top Shot pack, and that didn't happen because they have a dumb lottery system that doesn't really make any sense. But
yeah, I understood that reference when you sent that in the chat. The Dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is my first. I bought him for $11.
Okay.
Nice
Not
3
bad.
against, I believe it was the Detroit Pistons.
Oh, okay. There you
Send
go.
you a video
Not
of it
bad.
later.
Nice. That's exciting. Exciting stuff all around the board. Justin painting and Jesse with his virtual cards. Very, very nice. Before we get into Fastlane, a little bit of breaking news happened the last 2 nights ago that Andrade officially got his release. We were talking about it the last 2 other podcasts or so. He requested it, the rumors, and officially he requested it, and now he's officially granted his release. Where do you think the deal happened here? Like, do you think Charlotte had any play in this, or do you think that there was a deal between him and Vince or something? What do you guys think?
I think that they originally were like, no, we're not going to release you. And then he said, don't worry, I'm not going to go to AEW. I want to go to Mexico or one of these other promotions, similar to how Hideo Itami asked for his release. And then they said no. And then he said, don't worry, I'm going to go to Japan. And they said, fine. So I think there's probably an agreement that he's not going to go to AEW. So they were like, this is fine.
Yeah, there's probably something in the release clause that they probably struck up and had him sign, because WWE or any company wouldn't be stupid enough to be like, all right, you're good to go. Just handshake agreement. You're not going there. They're going to get that legally binding in writing somehow. And like you said, Jesse, probably back to Mexico or New Japan. Probably not Impact. He's too big for that at all.
He would be right at the top of the,
I think he'd be
star caliber.
Fantastic in Impact.
Yeah. Like he would run that whole Impact division, honestly. Like having him like as world champion above everybody else. We know what he can do in the ring. We've seen it plenty of times. One of the best in-ring workers who was on the roster the last couple of years, but just things didn't work out and booking differences. They didn't want to put him in any storylines or any notable.
He doesn't know English.
Now it'll be interesting to see if Charlotte gets put back on TV or back in promotional stuff, or is she still out and being subbed in by Rhea? But that's yet to be seen. We'll see that, the weeks coming up to WrestleMania, which it's amazing. It's only 3 weeks away.
Crazy, right?
I have to bet that Charlotte is still going to be at Mania. I think she has to be. I don't know if and what capacity, but I think she's going to be there. She is their biggest star in the women's division that they have right now, that they have pushed themselves. I personally, I'm a bigger fan of Sasha. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of women wrestlers that a lot of people, feel differently about, but Charlotte is WWE's definitive number one. They wanted her to be the number one since she came up.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree any bit more than that. But congrats to Andrade getting his release, getting what he wanted. Like he tweeted, "Happy wife, happy life." So I'm assuming Charlotte's very, very happy about this too, and everything's just gonna go back to normal with Charlotte being on Raw, like you guys said, and Andrade taking his talents elsewhere. All right, let's get into Fastlane. But before we do, we have to bring up the standings and a little bit of change in the standings. There's no more big donut by Justin's name. Because there was a tie between Justin and Jesse yesterday.
So we got a donut and a half. Sure. No.
What? No, you still got a whole point.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like
I'll give you the half.
No. Don't do that.
Okay.
It's not like football where it's a half a win and half a loss.
So yeah, no. But so as the standings say, Jesse has still won every single pay-per-view so far, whether it's a tie or on his own. I have 2 pay-per-view wins, and Justin now has 1. So everyone's on the board finally.
So wait, do I have 3 or 4?
4?
4.
4. Because
Well,
you got Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Takeover, Vengeance Day, and Fastlane.
All the ones we've started, basically.
The whole year so
nice.
far. Yeah. So Jesse
What can I
has
say?
4. I have 2. Justin has 1. So Jesse still has lost. Justin, I
Now,
try to inch up.
what do
He's
you
still
think
somewhere.
happens first? I win one outright, or Jesse loses one to you? Because
Jesse
obviously,
loses. Might not be to me, it might be to you, but wait.
well, then it's the same
That's
thing at that
That's
point.
the same thing. I think it's a better chance that Jesse loses outright.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That'll be,
I don't
that'll
know.
be in like
I'll-
October
I
though.
think
But
it's a better chance that I lose, but it'll probably be the Clark.
Thank you.
I don't know. Justin always goes against the grain with every pick.
and it worked a lot. It worked for a couple of
Eventually,
them.
he's gonna have to hit on one of the pay-per-views.
Oh, don't
that
be
he
so
goes
sure.
against.
No,
Don't be-
he hit on this one. If he didn't pick Bianca and
Yeah.
Sasha, he would have had a perfect card. Perfect
Yeah.
card. And that, what did I do? Oh, I just add more to the total points for the perfect card. But total point stand, Jesse has 21. I have 18. Justin, you finally hit double digits with 13. So that's good. That's just for the
Yes,
tiebreaker, though, so
sir.
that doesn't matter. But let's get into the card, and we're going to start on the kickoff show.
I didn't
Fitting
watch
that this,
this.
it doesn't matter. Fitting that this match was on the kickoff show. Riddle defending his United States title against Ali. Match was okay, whatever, not a bad match for the two of them, but the more notable stuff came at the end of the match, where it finally seemed like Retribution was walking out on Mustafa Ali, and then T-Bar and Mace hit him with a double choke slam, and then left the ring, bringing Retribution finally to an end. I assume we're all very, very happy about this, and
Now,
I just
see,
want to get your
It's not necessarily Retribution broke up. They just kicked Mustafa Ali out of the group.
yeah, but they're just
So-
a pack without a leader now.
So I wonder, because Slapjack kind of just walked away. So I wonder if that's going to leave Mace and T-Bar to just be their own tag team, but hopefully
That's fine. That's
not,
cool.
but hopefully not as Mace and T-Bar.
Yeah, if they're Dominic Dijakovic and Dio Madden as a tag team, 2 big dudes like that, I'm cool. They need tag teams on the roster.
Yeah,
Me,
because
Yim,
Slapjack's
they-
Shane Thorne, right?
Yes, Shane
Yes.
Thorne.
Send
Put
him to like the cruiserweights.
Perfect. And then me, Yim could be in the.
I
women's
think they
division
might
too.
just send them all back to NXT.
That works too. That works too. Honestly,
Or they just keep them on the main roster, don't use them. Maybe eventually repackage Dijakovic.
As something.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. I really don't
see
think
that.
like they brought up this group and they clearly from the beginning did not care. It was a way to try to get people to watch Raw with this invasion kind of angle, and it didn't help at all. And they punted on it pretty quickly.
And thank God they did it on the kickoff show because I didn't have to watch this.
yeah, but it's
I
just
think that
interesting.
also shows how much they really didn't care. Like
Exactly.
a faction
Fitting.
just broke up and they did it on the kickoff show.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. They
The
didn't care about this from the
irony
beginning.
in that group, basically. Because they know no one watches the kickoff show. Quite frankly, I forget there is a kickoff show.
Yeah, it's
They let you watch the kickoff show free.
yeah, it's on like YouTube and Twitter.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All social media platforms. All you have to do is like go on their page and it's like the link tweet up top. So yeah, so that
Yep.
happened. I guess that's good in a way for the roster. I don't know what happened to Ali from here on out. He'll just be like a heel guy now, I guess, whatever, but they're not going to care about him anyway, so it doesn't pay to talk about it. So let's move on to the main card, and we start off with Justin's favorite, Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler, defending their titles and defeating Banks and Bianca Belair, the one match that cost Justin the perfect card. And basically, like, the match didn't matter at all again. It was just towards the end where, you know, they kind of got in each other's way, Sasha and Bianca and all that stuff, and they're just building towards the match at Mania, which was basically expected for this. The tag titles don't mean anything to the main roster talent, to Vince. I mean, they don't mean anything to Vince at all. And they're just building towards Mania. Not a great start, but that's how we started.
This match wasn't good. It wasn't a good match.
The highlight was the post-match stuff with Sasha and Bianca. That was basically the whole point of the match.
Sasha had a cool rhythm going after the hot tag, but it immediately stopped, and They just beat up Bianca for like 6 minutes. It looked bad, by the way. Like at Jax is not good in the ring, period. When she pushes to break up the bank statement, when she pushes Bianca onto it, it didn't look good. Like Nia was standing in place for what felt like 30 seconds before Bianca came over. So she like could have broken it up, waited for Bianca to run over, then pushed Bianca. I used to like the whole breaking up the pins and breaking up the submissions by pushing somebody onto somebody else. Now they've done it every single tag team match. They do it every single one now, and it just doesn't look as good anymore.
It's like the announce table spot. It happens too much and just lost its luster, and there's no point in doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember the first time I seen it was in like an NXT tag team match probably a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I haven't seen that. And then now they do it every single tag team.
I'm just happy there was no whole spot. Thank God. Maybe that's finally falling by the wayside.
Once they lose the titles, it'll fall, which is probably be at Mania. I guess
I
they'll do a
hope so.
multi-woman match at Mania just
Maybe.
to get more women on the card, because it doesn't look like they're to do battle royals because of COVID. But
I don't like this Sasha Bianca story. Like I know the match is gonna be good, and I like both of them, but I don't like this story of like them all of a sudden sort of being friends, and then the friendship just fell out. Isn't that what you just did with Bailey for a while?
Yeah, it seems very recycled.
It didn't feel right to put Sasha and Bianca together to go after the tag titles. And I know if they didn't have anything else, but it never felt right to have them together and to like push this friendship that they didn't have.
Yeah, and it kind of feel like they're forcing Sasha to turn heel in a way too. Like they're giving her back to that evil laugh too, and like it's like you're not turning her heel fully. Like it's very like tweenerish, but it's not good the way they're doing it.
I feel like they're turning her because at least for me, I think Bianca's gonna win. I think Bianca going over should be the big WrestleMania.
Well, she just got bitch slapped at Fastlane. You know, like that's gonna be literally a driving force for her to win.
I think Bianca. Yes, so I think Bianca should win. That being said, you don't need to turn Sasha heel.
I agree.
3 weeks before Mania, have her lose and then turn heel or something like that. You don't need to turn her 3 weeks before or be like, oh, you know, is Sasha going into the Mania match? They're going to be like, is Sasha heel? Is she not? You don't need that over the match. They can just have a really good match and then turn heel. Like the whole Shinsuke AJ thing years ago, the match wasn't good. It was saved by Shinsuke turning heel.
Yeah.
And that's why nobody talks about how bad that match was.
Yeah.
But
you're right.
It just feels too early.
I agree. We spent too much time on this match because it was bad. But let's move on to the next one. We got Braun Strowman was originally didn't know this. It wasn't on WWE.com.
Well, that's how you knew it wasn't going to happen then.
Yeah, because Strowman apparently was supposed to verse Shane McMahon. And Shane apparently tweaked his knee in the ring.
That was one of the worst fake knee tweaks I've ever. He just kind of landed. At first, it looked like it would have been like his right leg, but then he fell and it's like, oh, my left leg. It's like, oh, that was very bad.
And the way Adam Pearce consoled him so quickly too, like he just like tweaked it within the second. Pearce is already like on the ground, like ready to like see if he's okay.
He's like, oh man, you're done. You're
done. You're out for tonight. But anyways, basically Shane tricked Elias into fighting Braun. Whatever.
Confirming that we're gonna get Shane and Braun at Mania.
We are, and honestly, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a push.
Okay with that. Like I think Jesse said a couple weeks ago, get two of them out of the way in one match.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. And then maybe they'll form a tag team after.
They're winning the titles.
That'll be great.
They're winning the titles.
But I said this when we were watching it. I turned it off. I can't watch Braun matches anymore. I exclusively switched to the Nets Wizards game for the 10 minutes. I waited until you guys texted and said it was over. I don't care about Braun. Elias isn't good in the ring. He's a great character, but also they haven't done anything with him in God knows how long.
The most recent thing was him getting hit by a car. The Jeff Hardy and Sheamus storyline.
Is this him coming back from that?
Basically, I think so.
Sorta, almost. He got suspended, I think, in November or something, and then I don't know, whatever.
I just
I don't care. I just don't
On
care.
to the next one.
You cannot find two guys on the roster that I could not care less about. If you tried, I
honestly care more about Shane than Braun, and that's saying something. But yeah. But anyways, let's get into the IC title match. And if I had one word to describe this match, it was underwhelming. I expected a lot more out of this match. They've been building Biggie up like crazy ever since he won the title back in December. Apollo Crews just turned heel and got this whole new character, so I'm expecting something good from this match, one way or another. But it was good for the most part, and then it just ended abruptly.
Well, that's the thing. That's kind of the sour taste in our mouths with this match, is just I don't even know how to comprehend what happened, because quite frankly, it kind of looked like Apollo sort of won. Like they also counted to like 5.
Both shoulders were down.
Both shoulders were down. I think.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened, but I guess they're gonna run this back at Mania.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I think
because they had Apollo just go after Big E, so obviously, but that was kind of like the whole thing of this match was Big E was getting revenge for him getting his ass kicked and getting taken out on a stretcher a few weeks ago, and then Apollo basically did it again and attacked him after the match, so here we go again. So really, this match served no purpose.
Literally nothing. It's just prolonging it for 3 more weeks until we get to WrestleMania.
But also, this would be then the 4th time that Apollo was challenging Big E for the Intercontinental title, because the whole thing of him switching characters was because he was running out of chances with Big E.
That's why I thought he was going to win it, because he finally did something different to himself.
Well, let's also talk about the fact that before this, he was in the United States Void Championship going on there, where he had a million matches with Lashley. So
who knows if he'll ever actually win, honestly.
I thought the match was fine. It didn't really. I thought it was. Big E controlled the most part of the beginning of the match, which was fine, but also it felt a little weird because then it felt like it was building to the Apollo comeback, which Apollo heel. So it felt a little weird from the beginning. The match just didn't really flow that well. And then obviously the ending, I think the beatdown was supposed to happen anyway, because I think this was supposed to be the Mania match, but I think they did it immediately so quick to ignore the fact that they just screwed up a pay-per-view ending.
I think so too. But what are you gonna do? Stuff happens. Can't always be perfect, but they built up to this really, really well just for it to fall.
Good thing this outcome happened on Fastlane and not WrestleMania.
Correct, and that might have been the plan too. Who knows? We're not in the writers' room. We don't know what goes on. It might have been the plan to make it look like that too, just to have Apollo another reason to get another title shot, even though he doesn't really deserve it at this point. Yeah. But might have been the reason.
He could come out on SmackDown and show the replay and be like, "Look, Big E's shoulders are down, so I should be the champion."
Yeah, no, I agree. But let's move on. We got done with all the crappy stuff of the show. Now here is where the show went up. Every single match up one, and we start with Seth Rollins and Nakamura, who these guys had a match back in Survivor Series a couple of years ago. One was IC champ, one was US champion, and it was okay. Both guys didn't really have a character at the time, but with a little story involved with this, like the whole Cesaro thing and Rollins and Nakamura being almost at I feel like the height of popularity all of a sudden again after the face turn and Seth Rollins coming back and rejuvenated Seth Rollins. This match was really, really good, and it just showed me that Nakamura can still go in the ring, and Nakamura deserves to have a title match of some sort, whether it's IC, US, WWE, Universal, whatever. Put him back in NXT, something. He deserves a championship run in the very, very near future.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like
the match.
What was that, Clark?
I thought the match was incredible.
Yeah, no, it was a really good match.
I thought the match was really good. Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I said it to you guys before. I don't understand necessarily the Seth character, because they brought him back with the Burn It Down, but then they sort of kept some of the Messiah stuff, but then I don't know. I felt like this was the right time to capitalize on Shinsuke. I thought he felt super over. He felt as big as he was a couple years ago. Rollins could have eaten the pin. I would have had Shinsuke win personally.
Me too, and that's what we predicted, but we were wrong, and that's how Justin got the tie with you, and tied
I
up.
only remember that I picked Seth Rollins. If I'm quite
I had to go
honest.
back in the
we think
podcast because I
Rollins-
don't remember you picking Rollins. So I did go
Yeah.
back last night and checked, and you did pick Rollins.
Wow.
But
Interesting.
What is
Peculiar.
Rollins or what is Nakamura
Someone's
for Mania?
flying.
Yeah, always.
that's
That's
what-
What is
Country
what is
roads.
Do you think Nakamura does anything? for
I mean, they
Mania?
kind
Or
of
do you think
hinted
he's
at
just-
like that little interaction with him looking at the U.S. title with Riddle in the back, but like,
But he's on a different. He's on a
I know.
different show.
different brand.
I think that was just a comedy thing for Riddle, which was pretty funny,
it was because he was fried off his
Zooted.
ass.
dude was zooted.
or at least acting like he was
Yeah.
and he did a great job.
He sold it really well.
Yeah,
No, but I would like to see that match.
Oh, you're
even
going
if,
to get your scooter.
even if Riddle retained, like that'd still be a good match at Mania. It's like a little.
that'd be
filler.
fine. I'd love that. I think they're running with Rollins and Cesaro. So an IC title match looks kind of full. Tag, maybe he gets a partner for a tag team.
There shouldn't be a way that there's two nights of WrestleMania and Nakamura's not on the card. That just shouldn't be.
Andre the Giant Memorial.
They should just have the battle royal. It's so much easier. Just throw all these guys in the back. Have them win the battle royal. Who cares? That's cool. Have the audience sing.
Nah, King Corbin will win it again.
Golly, I hope not. But no, that was great. That was great. And on to the next one. We got Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in a no holds barred match. And we start off before we even get to the match. Drew McIntyre and his Scottish face paint, his Braveheart looking. It was cool. It was a cool touch. I liked it. It made it feel like a fight. I said, I think to Jesse last night that I feel like this match felt like a WrestleMania match. Drew, Sheamus, no holds barred, WrestleMania. Don't have to have a title on the line there. Just having these two go at it. You got 2 nights to fill. This would have been perfect. And if Brock would have came back for Lashley, that would have been a perfect match for that too. But back to this match. It was great. It was brutal. A lot of spots. Very brutal. These two just love beating the crap out of each other. We saw it on Raw a couple weeks ago. Saw it again tonight. I thought it was fine, and it made Drew look strong. So I can't complain.
Big meaty men doing spots. That was most of it, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. Got brutal pretty quick. They immediately went
Yeah.
to the weapons. They did not. There was no mat wrestling going on. They got to the point. But
and
no, it was good.
I like the
Better than I thought.
Braveheart look for Drew. That was kind of cool just to spice things
Yeah,
up a little
racist
bit.
Mel Gibson.
There's a bigger explosion for the digital boards than the whole exploding barbed wire cage match for AEW. So that was
You're
cool
right.
to
That was
see.
crazy. I
Yeah.
guess that's
haven't
their way
seen-
of like,
we
we're
haven't
doing away
s-
with these soon. Might as well get
Yeah.
rid of them.
We haven't seen it in a while, like them getting thrown through something and it explode like that. See, I would have thought that would have been like the end because a lot of times, remember like back in our day, where like if they got thrown off the stage or thrown off like the lighting like scaffolding into the tables, they blew up like that was the end of the match. They just kept
Yeah,
going.
remember when Cena got what
That was
it?
like half-
was it
Big
Cena
Show
got
threw him through
choke
the-
slammed through
By
the
Big
light?
Show. By
and
Big
Yeah.
Show.
Dead. Yeah, he died.
He just straight up died. But yeah, no, you're right, Justin. That was a bigger explosion than the exploding barbed wire death match. But what are you gonna do? That's just I don't think that was supposed to look like that. I really don't. But whatever. That's not for this podcast. But hey, it was good. I like the spots a lot. They used the Thunderdome to their advantage. They went all throughout the Thunderdome, and
we were kind of criticizing this match a little bit too, just because they literally had just done basically this on free TV. Was it last week or the
a
Monday
couple weeks
before?
ago.
Whenever leading up to this match, they just basically ran it back and they ramped it up, which was good. That's what they had
Crazy.
to do, and they delivered
They-
on it.
They delivered, plain and simple. You're right. They
Now, I still think it
delivered.
was stupid to have this match because,
What if someone gets hurt?
yeah, and then there goes your WrestleMania plan if Drew got hurt.
Yeah.
But it worked out and it was good. I enjoyed it.
There you go. Plain and simple. Love it.
Explosions.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And now on to this one. A match where, like I said on the previous podcast, bizarre. We didn't know what to expect. And it was bizarre to say the least. It was Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. And it just started off with Randy, of course, throwing up his black stuff in his mouth, like always has happened the last 3 weeks. As much as this has been dragged, the storyline, it has been good too. I like the little stuff they do, like the fiction stuff and all that. It's fun. The lights falling was a good touch, the fireballs and all that stuff, but none of that stuff really mattered. There's only one thing that mattered in this match, and we finally got the return of the Fiend. What did you guys think of the new look, the way they introduced him, and it's about damn time? Am I right?
It kind of looked
New
like if
look
Ed,
looks
yeah.
sweet.
yeah,
Right?
it's very Jason-esque when he comes back dead. Kind of like a burnt scrotum a little bit also, but it was cool.
How would you know what that would look like? Okay.
No, but it was a good look, and I hope the overly sized rubber gloves of his burnt hands kind of get reduced a little bit, because those were just massive mitts. Like they
Yeah.
literally looked like oven mitts, like when it popped through. At first, I thought it was the vulture or whatever, like gonna go for like and like bite Randy's ass. But no, it was good that it was the whole Fiend.
Yeah.
It was like
no,
if, this would have been a good return for Edge when he got thrown through the ring at SummerSlam like 15 years ago.
a burnt edge
Yeah.
looking like that. But
A
no.
little scandalous pin though at the end.
Yeah, that's
Alexa Bliss.
a little bit. But hey,
The Fiend's
Fiend
back.
looks cool. Fiend looks cool.
See, now
Very
this would have
cool.
been a cool way for him to return, say, at like Rumble and like throw and eliminate Orton or
See,
drag him
Rumble
through.
still would have been too early for me.
Yeah, because they did TLC.
Should have been
late.
Chamber. It should have been Chamber.
TLC late. Yeah, that would have
Yeah.
been another one too. Pulling through or like pulling through
Nobody's
his
come
pod.
through the chamber since
Sean.
Sean a while.
But see,
yeah.
what they could have done was like he popped through the pod, like whatever pod Randy was in. If he was in, did he start the match? I don't remember. Like, and then he gets trapped in there, and then they can't get the key to unlock him, and he gets dragged.
Or just
Hey.
pull him straight down.
Exactly.
That
That's what I'm
too.
saying. Yeah.
But yeah, the presentation was fantastic. The look might be the scariest thing in wrestling I think I've probably ever seen.
Yes.
I think it is, man. Like that's freaky stuff.
I've seen enough horror movies. It's
I said in
cartoonish.
wrestling.
He
I
said in wrestling,
Oh.
Justin.
I see
yeah.
horror movies. Look at me. I'm cool.
Halloween stuff.
The first thing that came to mind for me with this is that I need an action figure of that, so that's good. They're already taking $20 out of my wallet. Once
Just
that
light one on
comes out.
fire. Just melt one.
I only have like one Fiend figure. I'm not gonna.
Okay,
do it
I'll go
tonight.
find one. I always go to Target a lot. I'll go light one on fire for you.
If you're buying it, go ahead. But anyways,
Maybe that can be my gift when I win.
burnt Fiend figure. Honestly, that'd be kind of funny. We'll put that and like glue it on top of like a little trophy,
And then spray paint it gold.
spray painted gold. There you go. But
Fiend's
anyways,
back. Randy's gonna die at Mania probably.
there you go. I just don't think they can do a cinematic match at Mania just because there's fans there. So I don't know
No.
what they're gonna really do. But hey, I loved it. I loved every second of that match. I thought that was fantastic writing, great long-term booking. Good job. And on to the main event. We got Roman Reigns defending his title against Daniel Bryan, and he did it very controversially, but successfully. It started slow, this match, but it did pick up a lot towards the end. I'll get to the quick hits, then we'll get to your opinions on it. Basically, the first ref got knocked out, and we actually saw the special guest ring enforcer get to do something, which I feel like has never happened every time there's been a guest enforcer at ringside. So Edge stepped in as the referee. Edge gets knocked out with a chair by Bryan on accident. Roman taps out, which I thought I'd never see. As Edge is out, then Edge whacks both of them with chairs. Basically, Edge storms off, kind of acting a little heely, and then Roman gets the pin victory. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think the direction is going? A lot of questions here. A lot of questions.
WrestleMania triple threat. I think that is basically a given at this point with Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman.
Don't say it's a given. I
don't think so?
I genuinely think there's a chance that they're not going to put Bryan in. I really do. I really, really want him to be in, and I think he deserved it after this showing because the match was fantastic. But I don't think it's a given that they're going to put him in.
I hope they do. I want them to.
Oh, me too.
But also going back to when the ref got knocked out, normally we see them count to 6, 7, 9 for when they're pinning them, but usually you don't see them tap out. To see Roman virtually tap out, even though there was no official, a little bit of weakness there in Roman.
Okay. Let's
No, I'm saying weakness, but I'm just saying, Roman, it's not.
He's literally
impossible.
dying.
No, I understand that, but
quite literally.
I get what you're saying, Justin. He's beatable.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
I think they did such a good job with that because he was in it for
a while.
I don't even know how.
Couple minutes.
He literally tapped as he was knocking out. He literally looked like he was about to pass out. fantastic job by Roman on that.
Yeah, good acting. Yeah,
Pulled
for
that like a
sure.
million.
Yeah, no, great acting all around. And we got to talk about Edge. That's the one last thing to talk about is just
Sorta
Edge
heel.
about this. Sort of heel now a little bit. I feel like, or we felt like Brian was taking like his spotlight. I feel like
Brian hit him with the chair.
I get that.
That's what it did. I think that's it. Brian hit him with the chair,
And he
and
snapped.
Edge was like, "Screw you, dude," and then hit him with the chair.
That's probably it.
I think that's Edge's justification. I think that's what they're gonna
probably.
do.
Probably.
I really hope there's not some blow off match on SmackDown in like a week where it's like Roman versus Brian or Brian versus Edge, and it's like if Brian wins, he's in. If he loses, he's out.
I can
Because
see that,
I think
though.
if they do that, Brian's out.
Well, I can see them doing Edge versus Brian on a SmackDown #1 contenders match now. And then I can see that ending in a no DQ by Roman just beating him up and then Pierce coming out and saying it's triple threat or something.
I don't think they can do a #1 contenders match because Edge already has already won the Rumble. Like Brian said, his spot's guaranteed. So I think
They got to do it when you're in.
I think they do Brian Roman. I think they're holding off seeing Edge in the ring again until Mania. I think that's the first time we see Edge in the ring again.
Well, we have a lot to discuss upcoming weeks, WrestleMania season. But no, they're overall pretty decent-ish pay-per-view. We have to get our ratings really quickly before we log off. I'm giving it a 6.5 is my rating.
I was gonna give it a 5.5, a little bit higher than my initial 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Look at
If it weren't for the first like 3 matches, just
the first half of the card is what slowed it down.
sucking, it would have been like if you go just from Shinsuke and Rollins on, probably like an 8.5.
Exactly.
But that the Baszler Jax Bianca Banks match was like a 2 in and of itself. It was bad. And then the Big E Apollo match wasn't great. And then come on, Braun and Elias. Like those are 3 throwaway matches that really didn't help anything.
Yeah, so I'm doing the calculations now, and I think this might be, which is crazy to think about, probably just because of the beginning 4 matches, the least rated pay-per-view of the year so far, at a score at a 60 out of 100.
Well, and if it starts at 7:30, but it doesn't get good, or it starts at 7 and it doesn't get good until like 8:30.
8:30, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, you're wasting an hour of my time at that point.
Yeah, still our highest rated is Takeover Vengeance Day. Expected.
Cool.
This one just lost though. Our lowest before this one was Elimination Chamber at 62. But that's our review of Fastlane 2021. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Sports Department Podcast. Us 3 appreciate it. Joe and Steve appreciate it too. Make sure you guys follow our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports Depth Pod. That's Sports DEPT Pod. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. We got basketball podcasts coming up. We have NL West, we have NL East, and AL East, ones, the baseball ones. I mean, those are all coming up. We're on the road to WrestleMania, like I said, so a lot of wrestling content up soon.
And we're in the fast lane.
And maybe another free agency one once the free agents sign in a couple weeks from now. But like Justin said, we're out of the fast lane now. Maybe another mock. That'd be good. Like one more mock.
Yeah, probably one more after free agency's like fully like done.
That's smart. But like Justin said, we're not in the fast lane anymore. We're just on the straight.
We're cruising.
We're in cruise control, baby.
Hopefully we won't hit a roadblock.
Hopefully not. We're on the road to WrestleMania, so stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.